Hey guys, this is a sponsored video. I was asked to review the Huion KAMVAS Pro 13 graphic tablet. Before I accepted, I did some research, read reviews, and checked out the specs. I wanted to be sure that this is something I actually wanted to review. I have almost 20 years of experience with Wacom Intuos and Cintiq tablets, owning many over the past 2 decades and using them at work daily. I felt that I can give an honest review from a visual effects perspective. Let's talk about the specs. So first thing, it's a 13-inch display tablet. It's a pretty nice display actually, and it comes with a pen with 2 buttons, which is exactly what you need for visual effects. Some other displays come with only 1 button, and it makes it kind of useless for Maya or ZBrush. It feels very similar to a Wacom pen. It's much lighter though, and feels a little more hollow, not as solid as the Wacom pen, but still pretty comfortable. The nibs are pretty nice. It comes with 10 inside the little donut shaped holder. Has a nice rubber grip. The screen is really nice. I'm looking at it right now. It looks really good. I'm actually recording the tablet itself, so what you're seeing is from the tablet. The buttons on the side are really nice. So there's a zoom that I'm using right now to zoom. The little slider is like a touch slider. It's not actually a button, and there's some extra keys on the sides that you can program, or you can just use some of the defaults. Like the 2 top buttons are used for increasing the brush size in Photoshop, and then there's a undo button. One of the buttons is a space button, so space bar, so you can quickly pan your screen around. The wire connector that it comes with is USB-C, and it's a pretty long cable, and then it splits into 3. That one plugs into USB, HDMI, and then there's a separate power that connects to separate power. There is no power brick, which is really nice. I hate big power bricks. I know the Cintiq used to come with a power brick. I'm not sure if the recent one does, but that's a nice little thing, and it feels pretty light in my hand. It's thin enough. It's not as thin as an iPad, of course, but it's very portable. I think it is something that I would consider carrying with my laptop if I'm traveling, if I need to do some work on the road. It's really nice for that. And the price is $399. I think you can get it slightly cheaper on Amazon with free shipping, but it's, I mean, half the price of a Cintiq. So let's look at the settings. So this is the control panel, and here you can pick your display. So I have my second display here. This is the tablet itself. You pick the area, and then you tell it how to use it. So you can actually turn the display off using the power button and set it to use your main screen, and then you can use it just as a simple graphic tablet like an Intuos Pro without seeing the screen. Or if you turn it on, then you can use it and draw directly onto it. The monitor calibration works pretty well. You just click on the buttons, and very simple. Here are the express keys, or the press keys they call them, and you can go through and change this. Very simple. This button down here, this one, basically when you press it, it will let you change what the slider on the side does. So if I press it once, it will let me adjust the zoom, then there's a scroll up and down, and then there's a brush adjustment. So very nice little feature. So let's get into Photoshop first, and I want to check out the pressure sensitivity, and this is actually the UVs for this little fish we're going to be working on testing this tablet. So let me pick some colors here, and so this is the pen that I'm holding on the screen right now. I'm gonna just use the buttons on the sides to decrease my brush size, and let's try. So I have this pressed, so this will give me pressure sensitivity for opacity, and I have this pressed, which will give me size for pressure sensitivity. Okay. Pretty good. Some of the reviews that I've seen pertain to an older firmware version that says basically some people were complaining that the diagonal lines, when you try and draw a straight line, were jaggedy, and I actually don't see that. Let me turn off the opacity here. They look pretty straight. I think they fixed it. I mean, this is what I would expect from a Wacom pen. I mean, this looks pretty straight to me. I mean, I gotta say, this is on par with what I've been using with my Wacom tablet. I can't really fault it. It actually works really well. Let's see. So right now I have the slider here set for brush size. I'm going to change it to scrolling up and down, and then to zoom. So you can zoom like this. Use the button right below it for as a space bar, so you can pan around, and then undo right below that. Very, very convenient. What I like about the buttons on the side here is that they're small and they're not touch, which is great. Only the slider is touch, but that's not a big deal. It's small and it's indented. One of the things that you will see if you ever in a visual effects studio is that a lot of artists actually put a piece of cardboard and they tape it over the side, over the buttons on the side, because you're always touching them with your hand and activating. And these you really have to press to activate. I mean, not hard, but like you have to press them, so there's no chance of you sliding your hand over and activating it by accident. So I actually like this a lot. And also the tablet itself is not touch enabled, and you think maybe that's a bad thing, but it's not, because one of the first things I do when I set up the drivers for my Intuos tablets is I disable the touch, because the touch is so annoying when you're trying to do very precise things, because it can activate by accident sometimes with your palm. I mean, it has palm detection on the Wacom tablets, but it's not perfect. So I'm constantly activating the touch with my palm, and it's moving and sliding, and it gets really frustrating. Okay, so I mean, Photoshop looks great. This is working out really well. Even my daughter wanted to, she saw me playing with this and she wanted to give it a shot. So she really enjoyed it too. So I think this will be one of her little toys when I'm not using it. So let's dive into Maya and see how it works in Maya. Oh, by the way, so in the graphic tablets, when you go to the pen, if you want to use this with Maya or Mudbox or ZBrush, the way I set up the pen is that the top mouse button, I set it to the mouse right button like this, and then the bottom button I set it to the mouse middle button. And also make sure you enable Windows Ink. I turned this off because I thought I didn't need it. I wanted to use just the driver that Huion provided, but apparently you need it for the pressure sensitivity in the other applications. When I unchecked this, I couldn't get any of the pressure sensitivity to work. Okay, so let's go into Maya. And so when you set up the two buttons, basically your navigation is you hold Alt and you click down and you can orbit. While holding Alt, you can press the bottom button to pan, and then you can zoom with the top button. So you can see navigation with the pen is very simple. It's just the same way I would set it up for my Wacom tablet and the way I have it at work. So let's see if we can do some sculpting in Maya. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to turn on subdivision and go to the subdivision here and set it to 3. It's nice and dense. Okay, so let's go to the sculpting. Use the wax brush. It's going to think a little bit. Maya's not really the best for... Let's double click it. It's not the best application for sculpting. but it does have some basic sculpting. So if you're doing like blend shapes, if you're rigging, or if you want to do a quick little sculpt without jumping to an application, it's possible. Under display, I'm going to turn off wireframe. I hate seeing it like this. And then let's see. Let's turn on symmetry, object X. Okay, that works. All right, and the hotkeys B and then click and drag. Is it? Wait, hold on. B and okay, so B and then middle mouse button, which is the bottom button. So without touching it, just kind of hover. I can scale this way, and M is for strength. Okay. Now another thing we can do here is we can click on the stamp, and everything's opening up in my other monitor. I'm going to use this square stamp, and then the fall off, I'm going to set it to the square fall off like this. So this will kind of give me a brush that kind of behaves like the ZBrush clay tubes brush. The pressure sensitivity is working. It's really responsive. I mean, it really feels like I'm drawing on the actual object. Let's assign actually a different material. Let's add a little blend. I think it'll be easier to see the brush strokes. Gotta be gentle with that pressure. Yep, works great in Maya. So next I'm gonna try Mudbox. So I have the our little fish here loaded in Mudbox, and I am at the highest subdivision level. So let's see what we can do here. Let's use the sculpt brush and then try maybe add some noise to this. Let's randomize that. Can do it in a separate layer. Yeah, I mean, I can get really precise with this. So I'm just making very gentle concentric circles, and it's working really nice. Select the wax brush. Hotkeys in Mudbox are the same as Maya, so B. Add the knife. Being able to see exactly where you're drawing is really nice. I'm used to using I use the Cintiq sometimes, but I'm mostly working just on the Intuos Pro tablets. So you're just kind of looking where where your pointer is hovering over, but seeing exactly where you're drawing is really nice. This is great. I mean, I'm really liking it. So, I mean, the pressure sensitivity works in Maya, works in Mudbox. Photoshop's working great. I'm gonna try it in ZBrush next. Before I go into ZBrush, I want to just test the texturing. So I'm gonna assign this white material, and then I'm gonna add a paint layer. Yep, that should be good. Okay, so these are my UVs. I have 3 tiles, and let's do some painting. So go to the paint tools. I'm gonna use the paintbrush and pick a stamp that I can spray maybe. Let's try this one. Okay. Let's randomize it. You can paint some leaves. So nice to paint directly on the model. Let's pick something that makes a little more sense. Now let's try turning this off, and I'm just gonna, let's see, let's pick a color. Why is the color not working? Oh, it keeps, all these things keep popping up in another window, so I'm like, oh, this is not working. Pressure sensitivity works pretty well. So if you wanted to paint some details in here, it's pretty easy. Alright, that works really well. Let's test it in ZBrush. Okay. In ZBrush, you get a lot more control. I can go in here and make really nice, clean, even strokes. And again, just actually seeing the model underneath your pen is so helpful. And the texture of the screen is like a matte finish. It feels really nice. It's, I mean, it's not like paper, but it's not, doesn't feel like glass. It's a very nice feel under your palm, and the way the pen slides along the screen is really nice. yeah, I mean, this is great. And you can see that I don't get the pops that I was getting with Mudbox or Maya. I think it's just the way that ZBrush handles the pressure. Yeah, I mean, this feels great. I mean, I can do this for hours. It doesn't feel warm, maybe a little bit at the top. The rest of it feels nice and cool, which is good because you don't want it to heat up under your palm. Just the top black bar feels a little warm, but it doesn't feel like it's spreading too far into the screen itself. So I don't feel like it would get too uncomfortable over time. Oh, this feels great. Yeah, well, I can't find any issues with it. I mean, the screen looks great. I think the brightness is just right. It's not too bright because you don't want something too bright when you're constantly looking at it, especially this close up. You know, like I'm really leaning into it. So you need something that's kind of not too bright. There is no brightness setting, but I don't find that an issue. So I really like this tablet. I think it gets a big thumbs up for me. I think it handled everything I threw at it really well. Worked well in Maya, in Mudbox and ZBrush, and I think I'll be using it mostly in ZBrush. It works really, really well. And I do like being able to see what I am working on. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.